Hello everyone, today's video is all about inheritance tax. So this is to do with a recent report by the OECD, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, which is broadly, how would you describe it? That is like a rich country's think tank. The OECD, predominantly been busy the last few years trying to work out how international tax rules should evolve to take account of e-commerce. Often the rules are not fit for purpose. The current rules on international taxation of business profits, particularly with regards to internet businesses. But anyway, I've done a separate video on that. But specifically this video on about IHT. So the OECD released a report on inheritance tax and basically said that rich countries or members of the OECD aren't levying enough inheritance tax. And there is far too much wealth inequality in the world right now. Not only would inheritance tax hikes go some way to alleviating the wealth inequality, but they'd also help pay for the COVID bills that every nation has encountered. So across the OECD members, on average, the IHT, inheritance tax take, accounts for about 0.5% of all revenue raised via all the taxes. So in the UK, that's 0.8%. So that figure again, 0.8%. It's about 6 or 7 billion pounds of inheritance tax raised in the UK every year, but we take in about 870 billion pounds of tax. So that's where the 0.8%. So less than 1% of all taxes raised is through inheritance tax. And the OECD says needs to be more. Specifically, they say during the 20th century, wealth inequality did fall globally. You know, the gap between the richest and the poorest did narrow. However, in the last 20 years, the gap has reversed and it's increased, particularly in the last 2 decades. And the this pronounced reversal is seen especially in the UK, the States, and in Germany. So just a couple of statistics. The OECD, when they did a review on the UK in particular, the top 20% of wealthy households in the UK hold 57% of all of the UK's wealth. So the top 20% of households hold 57% of all of the UK's wealth. In America, it's actually higher. The top 20% of wealthy households hold 67% of all America's wealth. Now, the average across the OECD nations is 39%. So, OECD citing the examples of the States, the UK and Germany of having the highest wealth inequality. So, what does that mean for us? Well, OECD, like I said, it doesn't carry any weight of force. It's not like Brussels when we were in the EU before Brexit, where they used to dictate a lot of the tax policy that we used to have in the UK. Now we have full tax sovereignty. The OECD, whilst they're very much involved and can drive forward like I said at the top of the video, the e-commerce, can they drive policy and influence policy on inheritance tax? Possibly not. Will there be any hikes in inheritance tax anytime soon in the UK? Again, I don't think so. But you just don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. I hope that we never get inheritance tax in the UK as high as in South Korea. Our rate of IHT is 40%, 40. In South Korea, it's 60%. And there's just been possibly the world's biggest inheritance tax bill. The heir to the Samsung dynasty, the guy who held all the wealth, he passed away, and his heirs have had to stump up $12 billion worth of IHT. So a lot of IHT being paid over there. But in the UK at the minute, like I said, 40%, but the OECD have got their eye on us. and they say there's far too much wealth inequality. How much political sway they will have, who knows? But let's see the direction of travel. Again, the government will be looking for ways to raise taxes post-COVID. So more families may well come inside the IHT nets. Broadly speaking, at the moment, you have to have over £1 million worth of assets as a couple before your heirs, your beneficiaries have to pay IHT on that. That's the benchmark figure. But who knows what's going to happen on IHT in the future. Anyway, that's just an overview of the recent OECD report on wealth inequality and their advice to the wealthy nations to increase inheritance tax. If you like this video, please do subscribe right there, and I will see you soon.